I'm Sam with CN-Seamless. We just got a truck so we could do demos, and we're really sick of dealing with big coils of air hose and welding hose. So we're about to put some reels on the truck. Unfortunately, the metal in the bed is pretty thin, so we're gonna make a backing plate to make it a little more stable. And right now I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna use the CN-Seamless to cut that out of 1/2 inch plate so we can bolt those on. So I already took the dimensions off the truck and measured the spacing on the pattern for the actual reels. So we want a rectangle on the outside, so I'm just gonna draw an approximate rectangle. So we want this to be 18 inches, and we want this to be 8 inches. And then for the welding hose reel, the oxyacetylene reel, we need 4 holes. And then for the air hose reel, it's a little smaller of a pattern, so we want it to look kind of like this. So you could lay this out, you get your accommodation square, and you could line all these circles out, use your little circle burning guide, use a mag drill, and then use like a track torch or something, or just be a really good torch cutter and make this by hand. But it's gonna be a lot faster to do this with the CN-Seamless, so I'm gonna show you how I would lay this out on the tablet. All right, so now I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna use the tablet to lay out that pattern I just drew on the table. So first thing I'm gonna do is reset the e-stop on the machine. So that'll just take a second here. So now we're all done with that. And I'm gonna clear in case there was anything on there already. And we're gonna add our first circle. Wanted that to be 1 inch from each corner of the rectangle, so we're gonna set the X position and the Y position both to 1 inch. And we want this to be a 1/2 inch diameter circle. So you can see that, put that circle right there, 1 inch away. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pattern that. So click on that circle, pattern. We want 2 in both directions, so 4 total. And we want the spacing this direction along the red axis to be 4. So it'll go up to 4. And we want the pattern up to be 6 1/4. So we'll set that to 6 1/4. And there you go. So you can see that that pattern was created there. So now we'll go ahead and make the next pattern. So we're going to add another 1/2 inch circle. But this time we still want it to be up 1 inch. This time we want it to be over that 4 inch plus the 1 plus the 7. So that is going to be 12 inches. So set that to 12. So you can see that, put that circle right there. So again, we got to pattern this one as well. This one's a different pattern. So click on that circle, click pattern, and we want the spacing to be 4 in X again, and then 5 in Y. You can see there. So there we have our 2 bolt hole patterns for the actual reel. The last step here is to go ahead and make that outer bounding rectangle. So we're just going to go add a rectangle, and we want it to be 18 inches wide and 8 inches tall. And that's going to plop it down here in the center. So we're just going to take this and we're going to drag it so that it's lined up right about there. So now we have our full bolt hole pattern and we're ready to cut this out. So the next step we got to do is show the machine where on this piece of plate we actually want to cut this thing out. So we don't want to be left with this ugly edge right here. So we're going to offset it a little bit from this edge and this edge. So we'll say we'll start it right about there. So we're going to go over to our place pane and we are going to place the shape right there. So that locks that corner right there of the shape, but we also want to align it to this edge so that we make good use of this material and can make other stuff with it later. So what we're going to do is the 2-point orient. So I'm going to go and lower the torch down so it's touching that edge right there. And then I'm going to move it over and touch another part of the edge right there. But we don't want to cut it this way, we want to cut it with the small edge aligned this way. So I just rotated it 90 degrees. So that the 18 inch would be here. You'll get a hang of it real quick, but if you want to make sure it's where you actually want to cut, you can use the torch itself as a guide of where to put it. So if I move it over here, I can see that this edge is right there, and that corner is right there, and we are good all the way along. It's always good after you do the place to verify that it's in the right spot. So now we are ready to cut this pattern out. So I'm going to go and move the torch off the material by hand, put my glasses on, and go and light this thing. So now we've cut this backing plate out, but I want to put this piece of plate away without having this annoying little piece sticking out. I could do a point to point to cut this off, you know, show it where I want to start, show it where I want to end. But with the CN-Seamless, you can also just do a manual cut. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So then you're going to move that over to where you want to cut. We got this O2 button to turn on the jet manually, and I can just hold that button down. All right, so now we got this backing plate cut out with the CN-Seamless machine, and it's time to put it on the truck. I'm going to use this as a pattern to drill the holes in the top of the box on the truck, and then I'm going to put some bolts through and put this as a backing plate in the bottom. I got something to admit, I already made that backing plate last night. I did it with the CN-Seamless, but for this I really only needed 3/16 plate, but we wanted to show some 1/2 inch in the video, so that's what we did. We're going to go ahead and show you now what's inside the truck. It's a piece of 3/16, exact same pattern I just made. But I also had some holes cut in the center for these pass-throughs to go through. So you can see the reels are on the truck now. And this makes it really easy for us to show up somewhere, pull our hose out, pull the air hose out for plasma, and do demos real quick. I'm going to show you inside the truck.